Guys, welcome back to the show. I'm Tim. Today we're way down in southeast Palm Bay, Florida, in the south part of Brevard County, Florida. And I'm going to take a few minutes. I'm going to explain to you how a two-pump water well system works before we take this out. Now in this part of the county, most of these homes, since these homes were built back in the early 2000s, have had well water systems. Now the city has come through and has offered city water, which they put a meter in, and we went ahead and hooked her whole home up with nice city water. Now she's got a lot of residual stuff she wants to get out of here, but she still wants to maintain her well system to a point where she can have something to water her plants with. Let's go up here and I'm going to explain a couple things to you. A residential well water system at a home all starts with the wellhead. And there's your check valve. So the well water is coming up through here. Now the check valve is designed, like we talked in other videos, to open up when the demand for water comes. And when the demand stops, close, so it traps the water in that system to keep your system primed. All right, so you're kind of looking like something like this up here at the house. This is the first pump. This is the pump right here that draws water. This is the other end from our wellhead up from the well. And the reason why we have an outside pump is because this pumps water out of the well and brings it up into an aerator system. I'll explain to you what the aerator system does. All right, let's take a look inside this aerator tank. Let me show you what goes on in here. That water that comes from the outside pump gets pumped into this tank. Aerator, meaning there's little heads that are along through here. So when the water gets pumped in here from the well, water sprays like a sprinkler system. And there's a float. And water raises up to a point where it stops, when that float tells it to kick off, and it acts not only as a holding tank, but the aerators themselves help eliminate the rotten egg and sulfuric smell from a shallow well. Now, like I said, we were out here and we hooked her up with city water. She still wants to maintain the well system. Well, we're going to get this aerator tank out of here, and I'm going to tell you exactly what's going on from there. Now that we've got the lines disconnected to the aerator tank and stuff, what we want to do is see that black line back in there. That goes to the float that's up inside the tank, and it's directly connected over here to this pressure switch. We've already turned the power off. She wants to maintain this well system, but we're no longer going to be using any kind of outside pump. I got my screwdriver on there. We're going to get rid of all that stuff. Pull it off there. Everything's unplugged. We've already checked all the power, so we're not going to get shocked or anything like that. Try to get that nut off there. Might have to get some cutters, pull that thing off. Besides, there's a ground wire sitting here as well. We'll get that thing out of the way. This way we can disconnect that float as well as the power system, because this is, she's going to save, but it's not going to be in use for the system anymore because she's got city water. We're going to get that aerator tank out of there right now. Everything's disconnected. Let's go ahead and slide it out of there. It's empty. All right, the aerator tank is out of there. Now we're going to take and we're going to move that well pump. It's no longer needed. Remember, this is only needed as a second pump for an aerator system, which she now has city water. But she still wants to maintain a pump system so she can have some sort of a water spigot to hose her plants and stuff. Okay, so we're gonna have to drop a couple lines, cut them. This is the line that went up to the aerator system, which actually was a return to go back into the house with a second pump, and we'll look at that in a minute. We want to maintain our wellhead and cut on this side of that check valve. We don't want to lose that water between the pump and the well. All right, back inside, this is the second pump. This is one we're going to maintain. Got our pressure tank. This cylinder's coming out. It's from the old salt system. And this is going to be designated to be used as the primary pump that draws water out of the well. And it's going to work as a pressurized system without a holding tank or an aerator system. and we're going to back loop this. So this line is going to come back out, and we're going to have to spigot for her so she can water her plants. We need to get this water filtration vessel out of here from the old salt system and remove it. That's going to require me to cut one line. One line's already been cut and capped, and get rid of this little drain line hose that goes outside. So let's get this tank out of here. Mm-hmm. Now we're going to continue this over and down where I've got a piece of copper going out, and we're going to connect all that out for an outdoor spigot. Remember, that's where the city water that we put in is. That's the well. And this is the return line to the inside pump. 1¼ PVC, 1 inch. I'm going to push this down to 1 inch, make a loop, and we'll be done out here for the time being. All right, see that? Our wellhead, we did our loop back into what has become the primary pump inside the garage now. We did it with the aerator system as well as that first pump that was drawing. Now we're going to be using the inside pump to draw our water out of the well. That's why we didn't cut the check valves out. We're going to take a 3/4 inch copper pipe as well as a female threaded adapter. We're going to sweat that in there, and it's going to be going through that hole over there in the wall, and that's going to be the end of a spigot so she can have water for flowers and plants. Let's go. Right through here. Yes. This can be our primary pump. Go ahead and cut this back right here. Our end goal is to be able to come down and catch that, which is connected to that spigot outside. Well water looped. Now on fresh city water with a fresh city water spigot and our well water spigot. The whole purpose of what we did all this for, so the lady can have well water so she can water her plants. Now this customer's been on city water for a little while, which means that that well system has been cut off and kind of really not been used for almost a month now. So we've let the glue dry, and now we got to try to prime this well pump after getting rid of all the junk outside in the aerator system so she can have a spigot to use. Here goes nothing. Come on, baby. She's building pressure. 25. Come on, baby, prime. Let's bleed a little air. Well, hey, that's going to do it for this one. Thanks so much for hanging out and watching the video. We had to cut things a little bit short. We were able to get the well primed up to a point, but she has some other problems on that pump, and some of the fittings are starting to leak a little bit. We're going to have to return with some more fittings. We just ran out of time today. That's how you can take a 2-pump well system, remove the aerator system, all that other good stuff, loop it back together and make it into a single well pump system. And this is just for a spigot so she can keep her flowers watered and stuff without having to add it on to the city water bill, which she has city water at this time. Got any questions, leave them down below. If I left anything out, remind me. Thanks so much, and don't forget to keep plumbing.